We're going to be going through week 2 problem set for the sigma group. This first video is going to be going through problems 1 through 6, and the second will go through 7 through 12. I should probably go ahead and give you the answers first so you know whether you need to watch the whole video or just certain parts. 1 is B, 2 is A, 3 is B, 4 is A, 5 is C, 6 is C, 7 is A, 8 is C, 9 is B, 10 is D, 11 is B, and 12 is D. So let's take a look at these one by one. First, starting with number 1, we're talking about non-negative integers. So as soon as you see that non-negative integer, so you should be crossing out answer choices A of -3/2, that's neither non-negative nor an integer, and also answer choice D of +3/2, because that's still not an integer. And then you look to see, okay, we have 0, 1, and 3, all of which are pretty easy to plug in, but the easiest one to plug in would be answer choice B of 0. And when you do that, you have 6 times 0 cubed minus 2 times 0 squared, and we want to know if that equals 5 times 0 squared minus 9 times 0. Everything pretty much cancels here because you're multiplying by 0 in every situation. So you get 0 equals 0, and that is a true statement. So B is our answer. Now you could have looked at this problem as a quadratic. Well, it's not quite a quadratic, it's a cubic, but you could have tried to factor it and get everything on one side, and in fact it does factor pretty easily once you pull out the greatest common factor. But why bother? Why bother with the heavy algebra when simply plugging in answer choices is going to work? Number 2 is one of those problems that confuses a lot of people who don't prepare themselves for the for the SAT, for the simple reason that it's straight arithmetic. There's nothing really hard about this problem. You just have to plug and chug. Anytime you see a symbol like this, like we have a triangle, could be a star, the next problem we see a diamond, it's just a plug and chug problem. And we're just going to plug in. So we have -5 triangle 2 is what we're trying to solve for, so you just plug in. And you know, it's an arithmetic problem, but you have to be careful about how you plug in. So we have minus -5 plus 3 times A, which is -5, times B squared, and B is 2. And when you look at that, you look at your answer choices and you simplify it. Minus -5 is a +5. We have 2 squared, that's 4. Times -5 is -20. Times 3 is -60. So we have 5 minus 60, which is -55, which is answer choice A. 3 is again one of those simple problems. It's pretty easy as long as you look at it and see that it's just an arithmetic problem. We're talking about diamond A, and diamond A simply equals A squared minus A cubed. And what they want us to find is, okay, what is diamond 1/2? Again, no big deal. We got fractions. Don't get alarmed. Make them all decimals. Who cares? We have 1/2 squared. Well, that's 1/4, or 0.25. We have minus 1/2 to the third. That's going to be 1/8, or 0.125, giving us 0.125 as our answer, which corresponds to, oops, did I write this wrong? I did, didn't I? That should be negative there. So we have minus 1/4 minus 1.25, giving us there, instead of 0.125, negative 0.375, which is the same as -3/8, which is answer choice B. Going on to number 4, we're talking about here, again, this is really a plug and answers problem, but let's take a look at it from the point of view of doing the algebra as well, just so we get an idea of how the algebra works. We have 1/2 to the -2nd, and then we have 1/2 to the 5th, and that equals 2 to the x power. Well, they have the same base, so let's just go ahead and add these exponents first, giving us 1/2 to the 3rd, and we want to make this equal to 2 to the x power. Well, if you remember from algebra, 1/2 and 2 are reciprocals of each other. So 1/2 is really the same thing as saying 2 to the negative first power. So we have 2 to the negative first to the third. Bring it up here so I have a little bit more room. That's power to a power. You multiply those exponents, and then you have that equal to 2 to the x. Well, since the bases are the same, that means x has to be equal to -3. But again, that's the algebra way. I don't recommend everyone doing the algebra way here, only if you're really strong with it. Plug in your answer choices. We went over it last week. If you want to pause it and try that and see that you get the same answer, that's probably a pretty good idea. Let's clear the screen here and let's do these last two problems for this one. Going on to number 5. It says, what's the greatest possible integer value of x such that 0 is less than x cubed is less than 100. So here, again, just like if you did the theta group problem set, the sigma group problem set's one step higher, taking a look at perfect cubes instead. And your perfect cubes, all that's talking about is, okay, 1 cubed, 2 cubed, 3 cubed, 4 cubed. And these are values that you should know, but if you don't, get used to them. Practice them, plug them into the calculator. 1 cubed is 1, 2 cubed is 8, 3 cubed is 27, 4 cubed is 64, and 5 cubed is 125. Now, which of these values are between 0 and 100? 1 is, 8 is, 27 is, 64 is, 125 is not, giving you 4 values that work here, which is answer choice C. And number 6, we have p cubed equals -1 over 27, and we want what p squared plus p is. Again, you have to find what p is first. Well, if that were p squared, you would square root it, but it's p cubed, so we're going to cube root both sides and let the calculator do the work for you. I mean, you might be at the point where you can do this in your head. If not, no big deal. Take the cube root. If you have a graphing calculator, it's in the math function. I believe it's the third or fourth option down from there. And the cube root of -127 is -1/3. So then all we have to do is plug that in. -1/3 squared plus -1/3. And that is going to give us, well, -1/3 squared is +1/9 minus 1/3. Getting least common denominator or plugging into the calculator, you get -0.44 repeating, which is the same thing as, excuse me there, that's not what I get. You get -2/9 there, which is -0.22 as your answer. So I think I misled you there. The correct answer for 6 is A, for number 6. Come on back and watch the second video for the sigma group, and we'll see.